Okay, so this is Coco's The Truth Behind Dead by Daylight's biggest controversy. I don't know what he believes that to be. It's going to be, we're going in blind here. I see SADAKO here, so that's a little weird. So I guess we'll see.
SADAKO, seen as one of the weakest killers in Dead by Daylight, had an upbringing during the skill-based matchmaking Boon Circle of Healing meta. Her conventional hit-and-run playstyle had many marking her dead in the water. Everyone thought she needed buffs, and the community cried for behavior to do something. That was until...
Okay, so like, one of the main reasons she was incredibly weak is because this was before mid-chapter. So no extra Sabiffle, no extra kick speed, no extra follow speed on survivors. Or well, it's not. It's survivors don't get as much distance after a hit. Is the better phrasing for that. So there's a lot of things that end up helping her. And the main thing that defeated her was the pre-drop meta. The pre-drop meta, which still exists. It's just not as strong. The pre-drop meta. She doesn't have any way to circumvent pre-drops. And that, especially before the mid-chapter, was just easy peasy lemon squeezy. Just pre-drop it in her face and she can't do anything. She has to kick the pallet. So it's just kind of with her, it was just about hopefully getting a map where you could do that and get away with it. So, yeah.
Behavior revealed he was a killer with one of the highest kill rates in the entire game.
But so does Freddy, and Freddy's garbage.
November 30th, 2021, Dead by Daylight released their first Crow-inspired killer, The Artist.
I don't know where he's going with this, but that's all stats. What he just showed was all stats. Just because a character can pub stop does not mean they're good. Just because they have something that makes them especially good against newer players or low skill players does not mean they are suddenly good. Wraith is a perfect example. I feel like Wraith is the example of a pub stopping killer. He's got stealth. He's got speed. He's got his weird, like, I can come out of stealth and kind of make it ambiguous where I'm coming from. He is the example. He is the standard for a pub stopping killer in DBD. But he's never even in top 10. Not even top 15 typically. He's usually like high to mid C, maybe low B for Optimus. He has never been considered one of the better characters in the game. But he always performs well. And that's because he's really, really good against new players. If you're still trying to figure out what a terror radius is, he messes with that. If you're still trying to figure out like killer powers in general, he has a really weird one. If you are trying to figure out how to like space yourself out across the map, he has built-in windstorms, so he's going to be around the map pressuring you pretty easily. His power is not that hard to learn. Very, very low skill floor. Very, very low. So he's not hard to play either. He is the antithesis for new players. He's very, very, very good. But only at pub stopping. Experienced players dump on that character. Dump on that character. Dump on him. So, I don't know where he's going with this. But SADAKO has a lot of those similar traits. The stealth, the passive phasing, the teleporting, like...
Referred to by many as a better huntress, with the ability to cross-map survivors through walls stemming from the roots of her deadly base kit. This was the much-anticipated Crow-inspired killer. With a new map and an exciting new playstyle to explore, the success of her release became overshadowed by a disastrous slew of poorly received updates. From the addition of skill-based matchmaking, the release of Boon Circle of Healing, killer matches in Dead by Daylight were the most stressful they had been in the entire game's history. With pressure from the community and survivor queue times reaching more than 10 minutes at peak hours, the ever-growing cloud of community dissatisfaction had not gone unnoticed. As an attempt to build excitement for the next upcoming chapter, they decided it was important to announce the upcoming killer 3 months in advance.
Yeah, that was such a strange decision. That killed a lot of hype. That literally killed a lot of hype for this chapter that they did that. They thought they were doing a good thing and building hype. It made me less interested. I was just, because like after the initial like week of going, wow, that's crazy. Like it was like, There was no excitement. There was no checking DBD leaks to see like if they had any new info. There was no speculation from YouTubers on what the next killer would be. It was just kind of, we just all knew. So we just kind of like waited. It was not a good decision. Well, Jartner, this is your main character, so perhaps not unbiased. Maybe that's why.
Sadako, an iconic Japanese killer from the Ringu franchise, would make her
very good
entrance
movie,
into
by the
Dead
way.
by Daylight.
You should definitely watch it.
This once peaceful, asymmetrical game had become a brutal battleground for the bitter Dead by Daylight community. Anticipation began building up as the official release date for the Ringu chapter edged closer and closer. This pressure eventually transformed into desperation. Dead by Daylight's pool of casual killer mains slowly began facing more and more survivors, finishing generators in 5 minutes or less.
Yep.
2 hooks, 4 gens done.
From Boone Circle of Healing.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. This is okay. This is not going to make a lot of people happy because I know there's a lot of Survivor people that like hang out and watch me now. I was a killer main for like most of my career, right? For like 3K hours. I didn't really start getting and learning Survivor until my last 1,000 hours, right? And now I'm a 50-50 gamer. Now I play half and half. And a lot of that had to do with just kind of not getting bored of killer, but just kind of like getting bored with the game in general and wanting to learn more things. So I just learned the other role as well. And it made me a better killer. I will say that. It made me a better killer to know how, like, why survivors do certain things. So I definitely recommend doing that. But this is gonna make a lot of people upset. You can still do that. There was nothing changed about the way survivors do gens efficiently. Nothing. The reason that you don't see it is because most of the guys and girls and in-betweens that I play with, you guys like to have fun. You guys like to loop. Go for flashlight saves. You like to mess around. You like to do the more fun aspects of the game. We are in the minority. You and I, we're in the minority. That's not how most of the game happens. And that's a truth you need to face. You are special for that. You're not the majority. Most people in this game just want to win. And nothing prove same as it was before. If anything, we added hyperfocus. Hyperfocus stakeout. That combo is still extremely strong. It got worse. Nothing's been changed about maps or anything to make gens more unsafe or more scary to do. Nothing has been nerfed about the way gens are done efficiently. Besides just adding more incredibly strong slowdown. That's it. The base kit mechanics with how gens work and the strongest perks for doing gens more efficiently have never changed. And that's why killer can still be incredibly frustrating even after the mid-chapter changes. Because nothing's changed with that. And I get it that when you play with your friends and you go for flashlight saves and you mess around or you just want to chase, the matches are miserable. I get that. Because that's true. It's also true. That is also the truth. That's why it's a hard pill to swallow, because they're both true. Yeah, your matches are miserable when you play for fun or play casually on Survivor, because a majority of your peers are playing to sweat, are playing to be gen efficient, are playing to split up and do gens. Most people like winning in this game. Just because you and I don't, it's not mean that's how most of the people play this video game. So, yeah. It's easy to sit in your ivory tower as like a survivor main who only plays for fun and only goes for fun things or just plays kind of casually and look down and go, killer mains complain after all that, after all those mid-chapter changes? It's easy to do that. But you got to realize that you're also different. You're different than the average survivor they face, because the average survivor they face, they only care about winning. Now, I think you have the better idea about the game, personally. The game's not that deep, it's a party game. But that's just not reality, you know?
One person ran Boone Circle of Healing.
You're right. They did tack on 10 seconds to the gen. You're right, Pitchy. I did omit that, and I had forgotten about it. Yeah, they did add 10 seconds to gens, but other than that, yes.
The community had been pinned against a wall, and ununanimously, they resorted to doing any means necessary to survive.
Any means.
From always tunneling and camping to playing nurse every match, what new killer ability could Behavior have possibly designed in such a desolate environment? On February 15th, 2022, the community would finally be able to test out Behavior's brand new killer, Onro. As Killer Mains booted up the public test build, everyone was eager to see what she could do. After a couple hours had passed, a consensus was made on the shortcomings of her design.
Yep.
From getting outpaced by generators to getting out-healed by Circle of Healing, it was safe to say the community's expectations had fallen short. After one day of testing Onro's true potential, he was marked as a weak C-tier killer. Everyone who tested her couldn't seem to keep enough pressure while playing against the current meta. The community demanded she received a buff. As the community outrage went on, something didn't seem quite right. I downloaded and launched the PTB myself to run my own analysis. 1. She could teleport infinitely across the map with little cooldown. 2. Her condemned stats effect allowed her to murder survivors.
Yeah, I remember this because he was one of the first people that really like came onto the scene with like condemn only as like a playstyle. Like he's the one that really popularized that while everybody else was saying this. I remember this. Yeah.
3. She had green add-ons to punish survivors for healing. Match after match, I deeply looked into how Sadako was intended to be played. After a handful of careful experiments, her potential seemed insane. Without needing to hook anyone at all, she could just kill.
Yeah, I think, yeah, Zan, I feel like he's omitting a little bit there because like I watch people who main Survivor and are really good at Survivor play against Sadakos, and they delete TVs all the time. That's like a tech that they do on purpose. They'll delete TVs next to like really important areas that a Sadako would want to be, like a nearly finished gen or like an unhook, and she can't do anything about it. So I think it's a little weird that he said like infinite teleports when that's not really painting the full picture, because that does have counterplay. I think that was a little disingenuous.
Everyone, and I honestly couldn't see a world where she was C-tier at all. I posted a video on YouTube showing off an experiment with a condemned playstyle at work. Predictably, a handful of skeptics thought I was crazy. People began criticizing how the survivors I faced in the PTB weren't good players, and that Onro was only good with iridescent add-ons. I quickly realized the community discourse had already been set in stone. This herd mentality became the dominant force on Sadako's viability.
I hate that. I hate when you blame things I hate when you blame things on herd mentality. I hate when anybody uses this argument on anything. It actually like irritates me very much, because that's such a there's no facts, there's no stats behind that, right? There is no like introspection. It's literally the hold on, I gotta screw it. I'm just gonna bring this over. This is what you're doing. Am I out of touch? No, it is the children who are wrong. This is what you sound like. This is what you sound like. Like when you say, "Oh, it's just her mentality. It's just they're just ganging up on people. They don't know how to think for themselves." That's what you sound like. That it's this meme. That's what you sound like. Because there's no way to prove that. There's literally no way to prove that. It's just an emotional argument. And as long as you just say it convincingly enough, you're going to get people to agree with you, which is in your own right also participating and creating a herd mentality, which is what you brought up in the begin with. This has nothing to do with this point, but it's just I just hate that as a communication tactic, as something to try and convince people. It's just herd mentality. I hate that. No offense to him personally, but I just hate when people bring that up. I think it's a very flawed argument style.
Any opposing opinions were shut down. I was soon labeled as that guy who thought Sadako was better than C-tier. I stood my ground and doubled down. After tweeting out my opinions and writing a YouTube comment, I effectively wanted to time capsule my thoughts for future reference. I knew no one had discovered her true potential yet, but in time, someone would. After a couple months had passed, major changes in the Dead by Daylight community began shifting into place.
Yep.
Skill-based matchmaking was redone, boon totems were nerfed.
Which didn't matter, by the way. Didn't matter, by the way. Skill-based matchmaking is... I'm not even gonna get into that. That's gonna be a 3-hour conversation.
Just once, but twice, the killer base kit was
Potential,
buffed, Survivor anti-tunneling mechanics were added, and a grand total of 39 perks were reworked.
Thank you, Bidgie.
From beneath
Thank you for
the
saying
rug,
it.
Issues slowly were
Because if I start
lifted,
talking about
and
that,
the
I'm gonna be
shock
gone.
from pre-existing
That's all this video will be
resentment and
about.
Frustration transformed into skepticism and confusion. These were some of the best updates the Dead by Daylight community had ever seen. The hit and run playstyle began making its comeback, and with this marked the end of the brutal 7.
The hit and run playstyle came back. And then they did the blunt point overhaul, and now everybody brings medkits. That's another topic entirely, but I just want to point that out real quick. Hit and run came back, but now medkits are easier to obtain than ever, so everybody just brings a medkit. So that's kind of... Hit and run is also weaker again afterwards, so... Yeah.
1-month player count declined.
Just want to point that out. Bring items? I also don't bring items, but, you know... Like I said, see, this is what I'm saying, Pidgey. I don't bring items because I don't care. I don't care about winning that badly. But majority of people do. This is the basis of everything. Is like, you know, everything, you know, happens in the game off of. Is that even though I don't bring items because I don't really care about winning that badly, everybody else does, and a majority of people do. So, yeah.
On October 17th,
You hear me say that all the time. Like in a match, or either killer or survivor, I say, I'm like, clearly you care about this more than I do, so just have it. You know, like that's a sentence I say a lot. Clearly you care about this more than I do, so just take it, right? That is the majority of people.
22, statistics were released on the kill rates for every killer. Surprisingly, Wesker, Sadako, and Pinhead sat at the top of the pack, with a whopping 63% overall kill rate. While Wesker and Pinhead were expected, almost nobody expected Sadako up there too. I reached out to a Sadako main going by the name of One Pump Willie. With a 100 win streak under his belt, he had paved a road to master Onro's deadly condemned playstyle. I was pretty excited. After waiting a long time, I wanted to see what someone could do when they pushed her to her very limits. After exchanging a couple messages, I asked him if he played a match that was representative of what Sadako truly was capable of. After a bit of contemplation, he sent me an email with 4 matches he played with her. It seemed her playstyle was extremely complex, and it would do her better justice by sharing the full spectrum of her capabilities. Having endured months of effort learning how to master her, he built up the reputation of being one of the best Sadako players in the entire world. I was ready to take my first dive to see what a true...
Every once in a while, I'll get somebody come into chat and say, I faced One Pump Willie. It was so painful. Like, literally, like, that man's a demon. he has legend. Like, literally, there are people who come to my chat and say, I faced One Pump Willie. It hurt a lot. Like, it was like he traumatizes people. I have to console people because of his gameplay style. like I really do. Like, I'm not fibbing. Like, every once in a while I get somebody going and go, oh God, it happened. It's so funny. I did. Yep. See, there's a victim right there. There's a victim right there.
True master was truly capable of.
It all comes down to this. There's the heartbeat. Does he get hatched though? He tries to put it away. Does he get it off in time? He doesn't! Let's go! Easy!
Willie ran a pure generator defense build. Discordance, Overcharge, Cola Brine, and Eruption. Not only could he efficiently patrol generators, but he could trap, explode, and regress them 300% faster too. I studied the list he had sent me, and
I don't know where he's going with this, but this may shock you, but running 3 slowdown does make a lot of killers that are usually not as good. Very good. Wow. Wow, who would have thunk? I just want to point that out. I don't know where this is going, but wow, running 3 slowdown gets results? That's crazy. That's nutty.
one file name immediately caught my attention. DoubleBrown.mp4. Increase invisibility duration after manifest by 33%. Reduce TV turn-on duration after projection by 12 seconds. What made these add-ons so special? The match loaded up, and I was eager to see what he could do.
Okie dokie, Temple of Purgation, and this is a good survivor map, so this will literally be tricky.
Tricky.
Spawn over here, they got me in the corner over there, right? No,
That's tricky. Sorry.
Honestly, that's pretty good.
Don't DMCA me, please.
3 people here.
DMCA me.
You want to give me this pallet for free? Nope. We got to get the free hit. Jin's over everything. Hit over friends.
From the looks of it, it seemed he wanted to commit to injuring survivors whilst not actively chasing them down. By controlling generators early, he could guarantee regression by keeping the survivors preoccupied.
Didn't. Like, probably because I did it, dude. Yeah, teabag. Honestly, I deserve a teabag. What a good FOV tech. Okay, we can manifest mind game, especially because we have the old newspaper right here. Beautiful.
Old newspapers seem to shine at unsafe pallet loops. With the additional 33% invisibility duration, he took advantage of hesitation.
Baby. Discordance on this yellow gin. Not dropping shack pellet. You have an E key? Nope. Nice, we get eruption over there. We know no one's working on that gin that they were initially on. Ada's back here. Time for your daily dose of goop.
I'll reserve thoughts till the end.
Oh, that newspaper mind game was so good. You have to have an E key.
You can't see it because my dumb head's in the way. But that right there, that is one of the strongest killer combinations right now, period. Especially on somebody with a teleport, like Freddy or Sadako, for example. Anybody with map mobility, that is one of the strongest combos of perks you can run in the game right now for killer. Overcharge, Call of Brine, Eruption. This is the strongest combo of slowdown in the game right now, in my opinion. Like, if you're going to run 3 slowdown, yeah, Pain Res Deadman's is pretty good, right? But, like, in terms of, like, a try combo, Overcharge, Eruption, Call of Brine. One of the best things you can run right now. Probably the best slowdown combo in the game. How much of this is Sadako? And how much of it is that? That's my question. That's my question. How much of that is Sadako? And how much of that is just the perks?
Invisibility at
Hopefully
the
they
window,
address that.
zero information about where he was headed. That was pretty sick.
Oh, hi. Oh, this is a triple goop. This is a triple stack.
They're also playing really badly. These survivors are. Like, there's no reason they should be all grouped up like that.
Controlling generators, managing condemns, everything seemed to be a juggling act of making the right move at all times.
But the survivors are also really grouped up all the time, which is not good.
I'll take that. You're not injured though. Ada is. Ada's exhausted. She just used Dead Hard. There's no way unless she has Vigil. Nice, and then we need to go back to the gen all the way over here.
Hey Zach, what's up?
Somebody triggered it again?
How are you, friend?
I'm gonna keep it regressing. Everyone's got a stack to condemn. Beautiful.
Immersive survivors cautiously evaded him. With Ada on the ground, he was hoping to gain pressure by forcing the survivors to pick her up. He was going for an all-in play. He had to condemn everyone.
Yep, someone's on main. Hello. No sprint burst. Nice. Our TV for Shack should be coming back fairly soon. You definitely need to go back there. Come on, TV. You need to come back in like 5, 4, 3. Oh, Mikhail's out here.
Old Cabin Sign was an add-on that made TVs turn on 12 seconds faster. Unfortunately, TVs only turned back on after 100 seconds. As an add-on that allowed him to pressure faster, the effects were marginal at best.
Mind game Ada here. We know where everyone is. Beautiful, we get eruption. There's 2 people over here. TP for the condemn.
By constantly downing survivors, he could instantly regress eruption generators by 10%, along with incapacitating anyone repairing by 10 seconds.
So much down pressure right here. Another mind game. Beautiful. We can get another eruption. I got auto-aimed.
The survivors want—
See, like, my question is, like, you're trying to, because this is supposed to show that Sadako is actually, like, top of the pack, right? Right? This build on Nurse would do more, who had a lower kill rate than her. This build on Blight would do more, who had a lower kill rate than her. You know what I'm saying? This is why I'm kind of weirded out by her, like, by, like, his argument that, like, you know, this places Sadako, like, way up there. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so many other killers that are way better than her that using this exact same build would get way better results. Is it really a mind game using visible duration? Yeah, the passive phasing could get pretty messy. Playing how she's designed to be played, I guess, but like, I feel like it's just a showcase of how good Eruption is. That's kind of what I'm hinting at, is like, it's kind of like showcasing more the build and map mobility being strong. Like this exact build, I'm blocking it again. But like it's more showcasing that like this build and map mobility is good. More so than anything. Like by design, how she was supposed to be played. Yeah, I guess, but that's like saying that like Billy is like secretly good just because like Doom engraving as low pro are a good combo, you know? Like he's still not, his potential is still not very high. Like I'm still going to get a lot of good matches by playing low pro in Doom over like double engravings, right? But Billy's still not that, like his potential is not that high, you know?
Wanted to get their teammates up. In doing so, they could only apply pressure to the Shack generator. With Eruption constantly exploding their progress, the survivors were forced to play a 2v1.
You guys really need to reset. You gotta find a different gen to work on. Oh, was an Unbreakable on that, Michaela? That's where Unbreakable gone. Nice, another newspaper mind game. Are you gonna dead hard this? Let's TP back to Shack.
None of these survivors are pre-dropping. You guys notice that? Nobody's pre-dropping. Remember how we talked about that was Sadako's main weakness at the beginning of this video? Was, you know, pre-dropping, like people just throwing the pallet? Nobody's doing that this match. This match is like the holy grail of like Sadako's actually good, LOL. Nobody's pre-dropping. Just want to point that out.
We know that they're greedy for it. Nice, a double stack.
The survivors' portraits lighting up were indicative of change in survivors' state or animation. Since both Michaela's portraits started moving, he knew they both gained condemn stacks.
I don't think quite yet. Now she is. Nice. Get this sneak up right here. Miss another hit for free. We get a discordance. There's the hit. Ada's picked up a tape. Do we let a gen go for a tape?
If he could guarantee Ada's death, giving up the generator may be worth it. To keep pressure from greedy plays,
drop the power. That's what I'm saying.
To keep the generator
they're not
going.
pre-dropping or even looping very well. But this is supposed to be like a holy grail of Sadako's potential.
They've really been trying hard for Shack. Healing right here. This should be a double stack. The Michaelas have a lot. And she's running to a TV in the middle. Perfect. Another double stack. Here's a heartbeat. At 5 gens with Brown add-ons.
Yeah, like when I'm playing Survivor, even if I have prove and we 3-stack a gen, I leave. There's no reason to 3-stack a gen unless it's like literally like it's coming. We're in a 3-gen and it's down to the wire, and I did like 90. I need like it's like 90%, right? That's the only time I'll 3-stack a gen. But otherwise, it's just a bad idea to group up. In general, as Survivor, grouping up is generally not good. Much less 3-stacking on a gen. Bots, yeah, we got to be careful about using the term bots because there are actual bots in the game now. There's actual bot matches. So we got to be more careful about our verbiage when we use that, you know.
Let's go.
Willie is renowned for his 100-win streaks on SADAKO using iridescent videotapes and ring drawings. Although in this match, with Brown add-ons, he miraculously seemed to make her work. With plays nothing short of perfection, he would get his first kill.
Let's go.
Nothing short of perfection. Okay.
You need iridescent videotape and ring drawing to goop people.
Oh, and this Michaela's got a tape. I'm just watching though. She's all the way over here. Let's get this kick. And then TP here. Let's go, dude! Oh, she had an insta-heal. She's zooming. So they get the first gen done. That's fine. Expected. We gotta commit to this chase and get our kill.
After knowing the strength of old newspaper, Michaela panics and gives him his second kill.
You are going to die, my good teabagging friend. Whee! Let's go, dude.
It shouldn't be as it is, yeah. I agree with that.
Serena's picked up a tape from here. That's why this TV isn't back yet. Which means that she's putting it away somewhere, probably far.
Whilst being 16 meters away from the killer with a tape, Serena passively gained condemned as time went on. Willie knew her condemned bar must have been almost ready, so he hunted her down to go for the kill.
I don't want her to. They can pop another gen. I want the goop. I want the triple goop, dude.
That's why I've heard when I use that skin, people are like, give her the goop.
Triple goop at 4 gens, double brown add-ons. You die here. We're gonna mind game the Z-wall. Nice, dude. That was on a good survivor map with good survivor items. 1 gen done.
But not good survivors. Like, no offense to the players. They weren't oh my god. Hello. Sip. Oh god. Hello. Hi everybody. Hi Kayla. Hi Neo. Hello friends. Wait, what do you mean invalid name user Sip Tonic? He's right here. I see him. He's right there. They're talking about how good Sadako is, but look what build he's using. Look at that. Look at that over there. You know what I'm saying? Look at that. He's talking about how good Sadako is, but like, you know, can you see the thing that's like really good that's happening right now? Do you think that has to do anything? Any killer is good with that, but that's what I was saying. I was like, and especially in the context that, like, you know, we're trying to prove that Sadako's good. Like, imagine using this on, like, most characters in the game. I feel like so many would outperform her. I would say most would outperform her with that exact build. You know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't make sense to me.
3 goops using brown add-ons. Let's go, dude.
Most of the critiques about Onro's playstyle is that she's only good with her best add-ons. Hit a survivor after manifesting to turn on the last 4 TVs turned off by projection, and condemned survivors spread condemnation to those healing them.
Yeah, Pidgey, I don't think she's bottom 3. I don't know if she's even bottom 5. But she's definitely bottom 10. She's not very good. She's not bottom 3 or bottom 5, but she's definitely bottom 10 for sure. Like, for example, I think she's better than Ghostface. I think she's better than Freddy. But like, that's not really a consolation. Those characters are also really bad. Anything below top 5-8 killers doesn't really matter. Yeah, you kind of have like that top 10 bracket. And then like you have to start running like a bunch of slowdown to essentially like exist, in my opinion. Like essentially like if you want consistent results, like you want to do like a win streak, you got to start running like extremely like oppressive builds to like get a consistent win streak or have like a really high win rate. But like top 10 killers, like you can just do whatever, right? And you're fine. So yeah.
I finally realized why Willie sent me this match, as the majority of the community seemed to
exactly, Ace. I'm sorry, I keep pausing it. You can deny all this by pre-throwing, which nobody did in this match. This holy grail of he did it. He proved that even with brown add-ons, Sadako's good. Nobody pre-threw this entire match, which is her biggest weakness. Her biggest weakness is pre-throws. Pre-throwing and playing the palette destroys this character. Nobody did it. Nobody in this match did it. They just kind of started to try at the end once somebody was like dead, right? But it was a little too late. Like, I don't think this is a good example.
Sadako was terrible without her best add-ons.
We just throw on brown add-ons for 1 game. I just wanted to demonstrate that it's not add-on reliant.
Although Sadako's kill rate sat at the top with Wesker and Pinhead, her kill rate at the top 5% MMR told a different story. In the middle of the pack, she had a kill rate just below the overall average. It was more likely Sadako was a low mid B-tier killer.
No, she's not B.
Really want to prove a point that Onro still's viable without her best add-ons. You just have to play perfectly. The rest of the matches he sent me,
You just... Huh? What? What do you mean? Huh? Gee, if you play perfectly, good things happen. Who would have thunk? Who would have thunk if you play the video game perfectly, good things happen? You just have to hit the ace in the hole every single time. Hello? All logic has left the building. What is happening? Yeah, exactly. Like Pidgey with the build he was using, which was with that over there, you don't need to play perfectly. You just buy yourself more time.
See what he could do when he went all out.
Hold on.
Okay,
I skipped too far ahead.
Overall
There we
average,
go.
it was more likely Sadako was a low mid B tier killer. Willie wants to prove a point that Onro's still viable without her best add-ons. You just have to play perfectly.
You just have to play perfectly. You just gotta be perfect. If you just always get everything right every single match, very good killer. It's almost like where you're having conversations about the general strength of a killer. You have to consider the consistency of the killer's performance and not just when they're firing on all cylinders. I have matches where I kill everybody at 5 gens as Hillbilly. Do you think that character is amazing? Do you think he's S tier? Hell no. I have plenty of matches I end as Billy at 4 or 5 gens. And I'm not a good Billy main. I'm not. He's my secondary. I'm not that great at curves. I'm okay. I'm like a 6 or a 7 out of 10. Curves are hard, and I get a lot of them. I would never say Billy's like top 10 in the game.
The rest of the matches
Halo Pro? Halo Pro is really good.
With the
I've been using it lately.
tape and ring drawing equipped. Close game 2.mp4. With how difficult the previous match was, I wanted to see what he could do when
That game was difficult? He 4K'd like 4 gens. What do you mean that match was difficult? Are we watching the same video? What do you mean that match was difficult? You 4K'd 4 gens, and they didn't pre-drop anything. They fell for almost every single phase mind game. They fell for almost every single phase mind game. What do you mean that match was difficult? Anyways.
when he went all out.
Okay, let's go. Let's see, what region do we want? Maybe this one, that one, and that one. Oh, this is a good variation for us.
This time his approach was drastically different. With Baton Preschool being a 4-building god loop, it would call for a 3-gen setup seconds into the match.
Why do I not hear anyone working on a gen? That's lucky. I heard her drop.
By hitting a survivor within 8 seconds of manifesting, you could bypass the 100-second wait period it took for each TV to turn on.
I get what you're saying, Overlord, but like, I feel like in conversations like these where we're talking about the general strength of a character, I think consistency is the key, right? Not just in like a competitive environment, but like against general players as well. So like you want to see how good she can perform in general, you know? So I kind of see what they're doing.
Delay early gens.
That's what a lot of people said initially, Pidgey too, is that she was just worse Wraith. And I still think Wraith's a better killer than she is. Especially with his add-ons. Especially with his add-ons.
Andrew Nancy picked up a tape already. Hold on. Already removing her from there. Check other gens. I know somebody else is in main. Perfect. And that gen was already about to pop. My lord.
With 2 gens already 99, these survivors weren't messing around.
You know she wants to go for that gen again.
Evening or far easier, yeah. Or is it in the middle of the night? They're awful. Just made a video about that today. You want to check that out on the YouTube where this one
was to constantly cycle through a tight vicinity of TVs. In turn, it could turn the school into a massive death trap.
I heard somebody breathing on the inside of main. Yes, please take the hit for her and let me reset my TVs. We could get a double stack right here, actually. This is a focus game for sure. We need to get eruption off of the injured Zarina. I need to get eruption off this. Jesus. I didn't know if she had that hurt or not. I haven't seen their exhaustions.
After a solidly executed invisibility mind game, he missed out on an opportunity to down Zarina. Without the eruption
Zarina.
the survivors had also chipped away at Willie's 3-gen foundation. A change in plans was necessary.
Zarina has a decent chunk of condemned pressure though. I think we might try and focus her with TVs. Nice double eruption. They're very coordinated.
As eruption forced the survivors to stop
Excuse me. Sorry.
repairing, he had gained the precious
That
seconds he
sneeze.
needed to make his comeback.
Nice. But they're zoned now.
Eruption again? Yeah, that's what I was noticing. Well, you remember, guys. You remember when like Otts did his kill streaks, like when he was like really like it was like every other week, like you know he was putting out he did another 100k skill or 100 kill streak. It was old Ruin Undying, right? It was old Ruin Undying on every killer, right? I wouldn't look at like an Otts video where he got a 100 kill streak and be like, oh wow, that character's suddenly really good, huh? When he's literally running like the top of the meta, you know, like I don't know. It's so good. It is. It's brainless too. It doesn't require any effort. You just kick it, you dry kick the gen and stuff happens, you know? It's very not thought intensive.
What is that auto aim? That auto aim is so bad. Unbreakable on Zarina though.
Unworkable.
That's fine. We can get more condemn on Zarina. Zarina picked up a tape right here.
The TV's aura faded away, and Zarina added her precise location. 117 wins in a row, and the outcome of this match pivoted on whether he could down her or not.
Heartbeat.
What's about the killer troop? Or like the kind of plays people make to like keep it? Yeah, I
Willie
guess.
dropped chase immediately, as the chase was less important.
That's weird that she erupted like that. We reset Zarina's TV though. Scotch marks not going. Yes, yes it is. And we broke that pallet from the first TP. You're already upstairs again?
Yeah, exactly, Ace. When I feel like I'm sweating on Billy, I run Bam. But I usually never run Bam unless I feel like I want to win.
Even if Serena gets her tape off, we've already built so much condemn. We just got a triple stack right there. She puts away one tape, removes 3 stacks. With that one TP, we built 3 up. She missed the overcharge, great.
Ambulance Jenner was the most regressed Jenner of the whole match. From overcharged skill checks, eruption explosions, to 300% regression speed, I couldn't believe how much pressure he denied. With such a kick-reliant build, it was a miracle it still wasn't powered.
Agreed.
I know Coco's a killer main, but like you don't understand all he's doing is kicking the gen, right? Okay, never mind. That's more me criticizing that combo of perks than anything, but not really anything skillful about kicking it.
Bobby,
Right, kicking
they
a gen.
are committing way too much to this gen right here.
That's just me though.
Nice.
Well, no, but it's just not true. Like you can still commentate, but you gotta say true things.
By forcing Nancy to come rescue her downed teammates, he finally maximized Condemned on one of the survivors.
Let's fucking go. What's up, Hext? I need to regress my gens. Not that there's a kill I can't commit to that, Nancy.
You hate Nancy's ace.
Having survivors slugged on the ground seemed just as powerful as hooking them. A constant cycle of luring teammates in and refreshing TVs was the perfect trap to build Condemn on everybody.
Hey, Caramel.
Oh,
What
yeah,
are you doing,
it does.
girlfriend?
That's what I'm talking about, baby. That's fine. I have a 3 gen here.
The Nancy Jersey. You know, a lot of my friends are Nancy Moons.
Go GG, dude. Sorry, I am like hella focused. You guys are good.
With Zarina maxed out on Condemned, Willie knew she was on the other side of the map. The only other threat to popping the last generator was
Using
Nancy.
tapes to delay them now. Oh. Here we go. We can commit to this heartbeat. Are you guys swiffing? I think we can get our hook now, right? Please tell me you guys are force stacking because fuck me. Very well played by you guys. Very well played. I am shaking. Whew.
One Pump Willie, as the greatest on-roll player in Dead by Daylight, had created a playstyle revolving around constant generator pressure, manifestation mind games, and using the survivors against each other in an all-out, delicate balance of never hooking anybody. After patiently waiting on the sidelines to see what someone could do after they'd mastered her, I could wholeheartedly say that the wait was worth it. On-roll gameplay is freaking intense. It's a lot of constant back and forth and back and forth. And One Pump Willie is honestly one of the craziest on-roll players I've ever seen. So if you guys want to check him out, his YouTube channel and Twitch are in the description down below. And if you guys liked the video or learned something from it, feel free to leave a like or a sub down below. I'd also like to take a moment to thank the sponsor of this video, Rich. Mike was here. Doggo, what are you doing? What the heck are you doing? Possible. I hope you guys enjoyed this story of how one of the weakest killers in Dead by Daylight rose to become one of the greats. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed.
One of the greats. I don't think this proved that. What do you guys think? Do you think this proved that? Do you think this may be like? I definitely agree that like in the original, like when we first, you know, the character first came out, and people like were like, you know, like, oh, she's bottom 3. You know, like I definitely think that was too harsh. But she's still bottom 10, right? Yeah, I feel like it was more the build doing a lot of that work than she was. So I'm gonna ask you a question. This is how we're gonna debunk this, you and I. I'm gonna ask you a question, and I know what you guys are gonna say. Overcharge, Call of Bran, and Eruption as a combo gets nerfed. Is this still possible? If that perk combo gets nerfed, is it possible? Depends on how hard. True. Let's say like it's a pretty sizable nerf. Like we're talking like Ruin. Like they do another another meta overhaul, and they give it the Ruin, like the Ruin treatment or the pop treatment. Probably not. Nope. See, that's where this is like slip and slidey for me. She is only able to do these things because the current meta of slowdown is so strong. Which I guess, in a sense, in a very like pocket dimension of time that we're in right now, before these perks get adjusted, yeah, that does make her a little bit stronger. But once these perks get adjusted, what happens to her then? What happens then? What are you supposed to be able to do with the perk changes? But that was because of other slowdown, Darkner. The same thing. Like the old meta, which was arguably weaker, but still was still pretty strong. I think this is a very like he said, it's something that needs to be played perfectly. And it's incredibly risky. And I think it's made less risky. It's been made less risky to do because of Overcharge, Call of Bran, and Eruption being so strong as a combo together. Yeah, it should still be able to do it, especially against like teams like the one he showed in the double Brown add-on video. But like we're talking about character strength, we're talking about consistency. How much are they consistently able to do it? And I think she's like In my opinion, she's living on a prayer, right? If you watch this video and you're like, heck yeah, Sadako's like mid B tier, she's super strong, you just have to play perfectly and go for the condemn build. That's kind of living on a prayer. That's living on the meta for like the kick gen meta being so strong right now. And if that goes away, I don't know what happens then. I don't know if she performs the same. I really don't. I don't think she would last. That's just me though. I don't think this really did a lot to prove to me that like Sadako is really, really good. Because like if we're talking about general character strength, we're not only are we talking about the kind of survivors that you face, but the kind of players that play them. Right? Like a 300-hour player can pick up Wesker and get results. Oh, Caramel. You didn't have to do that. Thank you. I really highly appreciate that follow. Thank you so much, bud. That's very, very sweet. Like a 300-hour Wesker can get results. But so can I at almost 4K. Right? Whereas like with like say Sadako, I would have to like learn all this, right? Learn all this stuff with like condemning how to do it correctly, use the correct add-ons. And especially a 300-hour player is not doing that. A 300-hour player is definitely not doing any of this. Definitely not doing any of this.